without accent, without... yes, it's very strange. But to think something about this, it's very difficult. I can't explain it.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yes, I can't explain.
Neither can I.
Pickering, as with each of our subjects, the starting point was always in the facts of the story told by each of them in deep trance.
What's your full name?
James Archibald Burns. I don't like Archibald.
Why don't you like Archibald?
Because it's my father's name. And I guess I never really liked the man. I don't think I ever saw him laugh. He did laugh sometimes, but not in front of me. Only when he was with his drinking mates.
Just let yourself run again. Now you'll move to the time when you were in practice. I want you to describe to me where your practice is.
It's in Blackgowrie.
Blackgowrie is a small town in southeast Scotland. Dr. James Burns, according to Helen Pickering, had been in successful practice there, knew the town intimately, drank at a favourite tavern, and was a man of some substance and standing in the community. When we drove into Blackgowrie, Helen had no idea where we'd taken her. We hadn't discussed it, and we blindfolded her well away from the edge of the town, and without her seeing a signpost. We were to meet our witnesses later, but we took this chance to film and record Helen's reactions as we stopped at an easy landmark for anyone knowing Blackgowrie. Like most places, it's seen change since the middle of last century, and Helen had nothing to go on but the pictures in her mind, the mental images left behind by someone else in some other time. She seemed to be in some doubt, not at once recognizing what she was seeing, not apparently able to relate her trance memories of an older Scotland to the quiet bustle of the place we'd suddenly showed her.
Come for a walk.
We'd come into the town on a road unfamiliar to Helen. The places she knew best were on the other side. It wasn't until we walked away from the bridge that she was, at once, able to orient herself.
Gives you the top of the river.
Oh my God, the square. Come up here. The rooms are on a corner of the street. The street runs up to the square. There's a grassy area in the middle of the square. And the road runs around both sides.
Now, where do you think the pub was?
Over here.
Let's walk around the way you think the pub was.
They drink a lot of ale. They've got a piano.
What sort of ale is it, do you know?
It's brown ale. But I prefer brandy. I drink a lot of brandy.
The pub, old enough though it is, was new to Helen, part of the pattern of change which the tread of time always brings with it.
Hotel. Or a pub. They look the same or
No,
different?
completely different.
It's all different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely.
Totally different.
Yep.
All right. Well, a lot of these buildings. Where is your practice from the tavern?
Just up the road. Just 50-yard walk.
And where's your practice?
Over on that far corner, over there.
Oh, yes.
That white building, but it's completely changed. That's not as it was.
That building's different too now,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
All right. Can I come and have a look?
Yeah, I'd like to. It's a white building. There's a window at the front and a door to the right. And as you go inside, it's on 2 levels. There's a small room as you go in the door. And then you go up 2 steps, through another door, into the surgery.
What's wrong?
It's changed. The buildings came right up to the square. In fact, I think the buildings came right up to here. They might have come round, but I think they came round in a circle and came back onto this road.
All right.
According to the old records, the surgery and all the nearby buildings had either been remodeled or pulled down many years ago. There were new shop fronts, new buildings, an entire new road, and no clear way to confirm what Helen had said. Yet she seemed so sure, and some things could be checked from the old local records and minute books housed now below ground in a county library. And there we found traces and reminders indeed of James Burns, Doctor of Medicine, well known in Blagari's civic affairs.
I was very respected. I could sign on behalf of people. I was the Justice of the Peace.
Expression of the law was sustained through the death of the Chief Commissioner, Mr. Burns. They also agreed to express their appreciation of the services which he had rendered to the village since his residence in the locality, especially the trouble which he had taken in the service.
And then to Aberdeen, a port for many centuries, and these days one of the world's busiest, thick with the traffic of North Sea oil and the tankers and traders of all the oceans. This is the city in which Helen claimed she had been a student of medicine as the young James Burns. With us in Aberdeen, 2 impartial witnesses. Anne Gordon is from the History Department in the University of Aberdeen, and Joanna Bachen is a young reporter from the city's FM broadcaster, North Sound Radio. And again, on this day, Helen's view was at first restricted to what she could see in her mind. We took her deliberately to a part of Dockland from which, if she had lived before as James Burns, she should be able to find her way when the blindfold was removed. She should be able to lead us to the place she'd spoken of and even drawn for us, the old College of Medicine, Marshall College, a little over a mile away. Some parts of Aberdeen still retain the flavor of the past, of the time of James Burns, but even those places have seen some change. And yet there was enough for Helen to feel familiarity.
I'm going to go around there.
Where?
Wait a minute. No, it's around here.
Go around there.
Around there. You can see the bay from the back of the dorms. There's always a mist on the bay. And in the early morning, when the sun's coming up, the mist is pink. And you can see the masts of the sailing boats in the harbour. 3 masters and 2 masters. You might be getting close to the Seamen's Mission. Let's have a look at this building. So familiar. They're all along here, all the way down. And the mission, Seamen's Mission, as far as I can remember, was up here on a corner.
We checked, of course, and to our witnesses' great surprise, Helen Pickering was right. An Australian woman new to Scotland had told them a thing they didn't know about their own city. The old Seamen's Mission had once stood exactly where she had said.
Don't feel pressurised saying something if you're not sure what to say.
No. Well, I'm trying to remember the what I could see from the top of the college. I've done these drawings last night.
Right.
Helen's talented drawing of the old College of Medicine was done weeks before in Sydney.
This is the College of Medicine in Aberdeen.